Good day, race fans! I'm Unsilent, and we're on the air with part 5 of my Let's Play of Grand Prix 2, the 1996 Formula 1 racing sim that simulates the 1994 Formula 1 World Championship. Last time we were out in Monaco for the Monaco Grand Prix around the streets of Monte Carlo. This time we go where Formula 1 just was. We are going to Spain for the Spanish Grand Prix at the Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona. As we've just crossed the quarter mark of the season, we continue into the next stretch of the season with Barcelona, the Spanish Grand Prix. This looks pretty familiar to you if you're a Formula 1 fan currently. Here's a closer look at the track, but you will notice that the third sector is quite a bit different compared to what the stars of Formula 1 had just run on in 2017. Here it is zoomed in here. More JPEG, please. There's a chicane on the back stretch. There's no chicane between the final two corners there, and that hairpin there, La Queixa, is quite different then than it is now. And we are going to take a look at the differences between 1994 and 2017 thanks to video games. Here's the 2017 version through F1 2016. Here's Copsey Turn 9. You can see some unused racetrack on the left. That was used in 94, along with this pointy La Queixa hairpin. On the right there, beyond the AstroTurf, is the old track, which we will show you now in Grand Prix 2. Here's Copsey Corner. Lets you out wide into this tight second gear chicane. Bounce over that curb a little aggressively. And now La Queixa hairpin, as opposed to being slow and pointy, it's slow and round. It gives you a nice time to wind up before you come back for that long, slow hairpin to the right in the third sector. And here's the last part of the track here. The new chicane designed to slow cars down heading into turn 1. Attack that first curb on the left-hander as you spit out and just accelerate through onto the front stretch. Here's the old version. Accelerate through that turn, a little dab the brake in the last corner, and onwards you go down the front straight. I much prefer the old version. Here's the World Drivers' Championship table through the quarterway mark of the Formula 1 1994 season. It's Jean Alesi leading from David Coulthard, 2 wins apiece for them. Damon Hill in third. Michael Schumacher scored 2 consecutive second-place finishes to get to fourth, and I'm tied with Gerhard Berger for fifth, with 9 points. The World Constructors' Championship, Williams just ahead of Ferrari. Again, each level on 2 points. Then it's Benetton, Jordan, which is my team, as Eddie Irvine. And then the Tyrrell Yamaha with 7 points. That would be Ukyo Katayama's contribution. It's all to play for in the World Constructors' Championship. Here's Friday qualifying. My first really good, clean qualifying attempt wasn't clean because Martin Brundle's Williams forced me to slow down because of yellow flags, and that meant I was only good for 18th after my first really proper qualifying run. I did get one late run on absolutely no fuel. If you look at the fuel level, I had less than 1 lap when I crossed the line. I wouldn't have been able to make it back across to the pits, but I did score a 25.962, good enough for third on Friday, behind Michael Schumacher and David Coulthard. But you see, it's 7 tenths to Schumacher, and 7 tenths more from me gets you down to 7th behind Ukyo Katayama. Interesting other story from Friday qualifying, 9th and 10th, Johnny Morbidelli in the footwork ahead of the Ferrari of Gerhard Berger. So there's a lot of interesting stories up and down this qualifying order. Oh, and Mika Häkkinen hasn't scored a point yet in our Grand Prix 2 season, and he is 5th, putting himself and that McLaren Peugeot in great position for points. Now here we are to Saturday qualifying. Here's my first clean flying run. I've got a really, really twitchy setup, so I'm not getting many good runs in, but this one was an improvement by 3 tenths, but that was all I could fit in to this qualifying session. And now it's on to straight to the starting grid for the Spanish Grand Prix. A lot of action in the actual race. Michael Schumacher on the pole once again, followed by David Coulthard on the outside. Myself as Eddie Irvine on the inside of row number 2, alongside Damon Hill and the other Williams. Mika Häkkinen retained 5th position. He will start on the inside of row 3 alongside Jean Alesi, who won the last race at Monaco. Ukyo Katayama, Rubens Barrichello on row number 4. Katayama looking to score more points for Tyrrell. Johnny Morbidelli managed to stay in the top 10 ahead of Gerhard Berger. He's in P9. Berger in the second Ferrari P10. Pierluigi Martini in the first Minardi. A good run for for him into 11th, and Andrea de Cesaris in the Sauber P12. Johnny Herbert, we won't worry about a challenge for him. He's starting at 13th instead of 12th. He's dangerous only from 12th. Alongside Michele Alboreto in the second Minardi, Olivier Panis on the inside of row 8, in the Ligier and Eric Coma in the Larousse on the outside of row 8. Have I ever mentioned that Olivier Panis won the 96 Monaco Grand Prix? Heinz-Harald Frentzen leads the bunch of teammates who are too far behind. He's on the inside of row 9. Martin Brundle, his teammate's in 5th. He's in 18th. That's a 13-spot gap. Jos Verstappen, 18 spots behind his teammate in 19th. And Mark Blundell, I think he is, 13 spots behind Katayama in P20. Christian Fittipaldi in the second of the footwork forts. His teammates in 9th, he is in 21st. Eric Bernard in the second Ligier on 22nd. On row 12, inside is Alex Zanardi in the second Lotus and Olivier Beretta in the second Larousse alongside. In the back row, David Brabham in the Simtech Ford and John-Paul Belmondo in the lone qualifying Pacific. Shotgun in the field in 26th. The warning horn goes off. The engines come to life. All of that, of course, for the game, because they don't have the formation lap here. The red lights come on, 4 to 6 seconds, and then we are green, green, green for the Spanish Grand Prix. And a lightning start from the Ferrari of Jean Lacy for the second race in a row with an absolutely blistering start. I'm blocked in on the inside, and oh my god, there goes the other Ferrari of Berger. He was 10th. He qualified 10th. And he's ended up second at the first corner. What an amazing start by the two Ferraris. And now here goes Schumacher looking up the inside. Oh boy, you think this is fun on the replay? You should have been doing it with me as I'm playing this. And here we go. I'm boxed in, have nowhere to go, so I have to hold station. Meanwhile, you've got Berger. We'll show it again. Watch Berger in the center of screen from 5th and just outbreaks everyone. Thank you very much. I will take second place. Now, the excitement on the first lap did not end there. Here we go to Lacacia Hairpin, and I've got Hill taking a look up at the inside at me. I shut the door on him. I did not play very well through this hairpin, or this chicane rather, all weekend, and that gave Hill an opportunity there. Next lap, here goes Schumacher up the inside. Little puff of smoke as he tries to go up the inside of Berger. Here's another look, and just a little contact left front to right rear. Another look from onboard Schumacher. Oh, Michael, that was ambitious. That was well ambitious. You were never doing anything there. But a couple corners later, at turn 4, he makes the move up the inside of Berger. A lap later, it's Coulthard. He makes the pass at turn 1 clean. And he goes up to position number 3. Berger falling like a rock. And this time, we're going to pull the old Lewis Hamilton on him. We don't need DRS. We're just going to draft him out down the front straight. I'd set up for that last turn so I could get through there pretty damn flat. And just behind us, there goes Hakkinen finding another spot. The lap later, there goes Hill through for P4. Katayama goes through on Hakkinen. He retakes his spot. A lap after that, here goes Schumacher by Lacy into position number 1. Takes the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix. The lap following, oh my god, I'm going to run out of breath. There goes Coulthard by Lacy. And into position number 2 as Coulthard picks up valuable championship points over Lacy. Here's my turn on lap number 7 by Lacy into P number 3. Can I get my first podium of the season in Spain? As we approach the halfway point, David Brabham, the engine on his Simtech, goes a kerblamo on the front straight. And he is done for the day. Thank you, Corner Marshal, for warning everyone about the puff of smoke we can all see from orbit. A few laps after that, I told you my setup was twitchy. I lose the back end in the turn 1 chicane and fly off the track. Fortunately, I don't lose a position there, but Lacy is right on my tail. He took a look to the inside at turn 1 the next lap. I make an early defensive move, and he goes to the inside, but I think I forced him to scrub out enough speed on that I was able to retain that position. Lap 15, we're nearing the end. I go by Belmondo, and then I get a notification, Johnny Morbidelli's out. What happened to Johnny? Well, something's obviously gone wrong, and I don't mean him flying through the gravel and losing part of his front wing. No, what ended up happening to Johnny? The same thing that happened to me in Monaco. Transmission failure, and his day was done. On lap number 16, I experienced brain fade. Yep, I stood on the brakes, basically brought it to a stop at turn 5. As I was putting my car to a stop, so was Lacy. I think he ran out of fuel because his fuel level is 0. So that took him out of the points out of the race and will severely dent his championship chances. My brain fade put Hill right back into this. It's a replay of lap number 1. Through the backstretch chicane into Lacacia. There goes Hill sliding off. He tried to dive bomb me under the middle. I gave him absolutely no room. He was not taking my podium away. It was checkers or wreckers. And if Damon didn't back out, it was definitely going to be wreckers back to the pit lane after this race. Michael Schumacher won the race. Ironically, his first win in our Grand Prix 2 Let's Play was his first race he didn't win in real F1 94. As I come across the line in third, Damon Hill comes alongside, gives me a little wave. Congrats on the podium, kid. Position number 3 for us. Well behind the leaders, but you know what? I'm happy because it's our first podium of this Let's Play in the Jordan Hart. Michael Schumacher wins the races first in our Grand Prix 2 Let's Play. David Coulthard finishes second to take the championship lead. I was third, then it was Hill. Katayama scoring points for Tyrrell, and Mika Hakkinen scoring his first points for McLaren. Berger was 7th, but he was as low as 9th after being as high as 2nd. Morbidelli was ahead of him, Alesi was ahead of him, they both retired, bumping him up to 7th. And as we go down the list, again, you see the usual suspects back down there. Brabham with his engine failure, Morbidelli with his transmission failure, and Alesi with his fuel running out, the 3 retirements from this race. On to the World Drivers' Championship, it's Coulthard in front by virtue of finishing and Alesi not finishing. And then it's Michael Schumacher vaulting up within 1 race of Coulthard, having won his first race of the season. Then it's Hill. Irvine, I've managed to score a podium and pull myself into lone 5th place. Katayama right behind me. He is ahead of Berger on countback because he was 2nd at the Pacific Grand Prix in Ada. And then gone down the list, Hakkinen on the board. Through 5 rounds, 10 guys have scored points. That's 1 F1 race now. And then on to the Constructors' Championship. Now you see that Williams has a very clear gap back to Ferrari with Benetton charging hard up. And then you see McLaren making their way onto the Constructors' Championship table for the first time this season as we reach about the 3rd way mark of the season. The 6th race of 16 of the 1994 Formula 1 season brings us to Canada, our home and native land. For the Canadian Grand Prix in Montreal, the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve on Ile Notre-Dame, a man-made island in the St. Lawrence Seaway. Home to Casino Montreal, the Olympic rowing basin, and what I am going to damn well make sure is my first win of this Let's Play. My home race, Canada 150, and all of that stuff. I am going to be charging hard. There are some slight differences on this track map to what we have now. You can see it on the backstretch there. That little thing that looks like a chicane isn't there now. Was there then. We will talk about changes from the track over the last decade plus, as we are wont to do when we do this Let's Play. I'm definitely going to be charging hard for a victory here, but that is not for 2 weeks when the real Canadian Grand Prix is happening in Formula 1. So will this on Grand Prix 2, but that's in 2 weeks. So like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you're new, share on social media, follow on social media. The social media handle is Unsilent on Air. And until the next time, I'm Unsilent. Thanks very much for joining me. Like, share, subscribe, and we will see you next time.